Welcome to episode 15 of Where in the World, the detailed showcase that follows the various locations in the Arcane Adventures campaign setting. Check out the map on screen to see the general location of where we are for today's episode. Let's jump right in to episode 15, Where in the World, Fenru Village. Far east, nestled in the northern reaches of the borderlands of Bupilisu, is a waste scarred by a seemingly unending war between 2 to 3 nations. What once was believed to be a luscious landscape many millennia ago is a barren, rocky, and charred area. Here, we find a small outpost town, surrounded by a wooden wall. Welcome to Fenru Village. The active warfront and the sulfur chasms within just 100 miles of this place makes it a nearby location for a war that rages on. The village serves as a small base for military operations, both as training grounds with healers and barracks. Populated by a variety of people, but yet not very populous at all. Almost all involved in the war in some form or another. Founded just a little over 4 decades ago, where a smaller fortress, likely centuries ago, once stood. This area was settled by Rushandra Fenrula, a captain of the Bodo Guard and her men, which is where the original fortress, and now the village that sits around it, draws their name. A day at Fenru village is simple. Armorers and blacksmiths toil away at making new weaponry and defenses to be outsourced to other fortresses. Clerics and healers work to save the lives of injured warriors. And men and women alike train and prepare for deployment into battle. The village is noisy. Sounds of training swords constantly clashing together, the hammering and creation of new projects, and the constant chatter between warriors and citizens. In its own way, as small as it is, each person in this part of the world is one family, under something greater than just blood, but rather a sense of devotion to either each other or the cause and defense of this country, and perhaps some mixture of both. Seldom will one find a place more patriotic than this, even though it has seen losses over the years. A very recent event, where Esmeen troops pushed through the North Falls fortress to the northeast, and proceeded to lay siege to this small settlement. And while the citizens and warriors took up arms to defend their home village, surely no one thought that they would ever fend off such a force. But then help arrived. A band of adventurers who had never visited this place before aided Bupilisu's small group of people in defending Fenru village, and, in turn, forcing the enemy to retreat. The victory, as all do, came at a cost, and the number of explosions during the siege occurred around the walls, which fatally wounded nearly 1/3 of the settlement's population, but leaving it defended and standing nonetheless. The small and shallow chasms, most about 20 feet or so deeper than the surface, formed by these explosions, would give the village a new sense of defense, a natural terrain. I suppose this is to show that sometimes even loss and suffering grants a better chance for others in a cog of war and life. As any settlement does after loss, they take time to stop, reflect, remember, and rebuild. Fenru village, located in the desolate expanse of the borderlands and waste, has relatively typical weather for such. Dry air drafts of the Kinnebog mountain range to the west of this area leaves weather to be relatively non-existent in this part of the country. Fenru village, while located in the middle of nowhere and seldom having outside visitors, is where a number of roads meet and spread out. To the northwest, a path connects to Charchar, the regional hub of the agricultural portion of the country, and another path branches off from that turns due north towards Nightmare Harbor and Keilor, the border town between Winsau and Papilisu. A second, less trodden path heads northeast towards the North Falls Fortress, on the edge of the Sulphur Chasms and along the active warfront. And to the south, a well-traveled supply route connects to Monton Village and Bodenken, the regional hub of the borderlands and military headquarters in this area. We hope you've enjoyed this closer look at Fenru Village. While many would never come to this small, desolate outpost town, we can only wonder what it would be like without them. That's all for this episode of Where in the World. We'll see you next time.